Howdy YouTube. Today we're taking a look at the TID Radio DP580 UHF DMR Analog Radio. So let's dig in and see what we think here today on K580 Ham Radio. Okay, so this is the TID DMR radio. It was sent to me by Ham Radio Mall. And let's see what we got. It's VIP service card. Oh, somebody's coming through on the DMR radio. I'll turn that down. Alright, so we got clip in there. It's got a high gain antenna. Programming cable, and it's got some heft to it. It's decent weight radio. This is the TID DP580. Okay, let's see. Got that. Got the wall wart charger. Got the rubber ducky antenna, the belt clip, and the wrist strap. Oh, good thing you looked under that. I did not know that was under there. Look at that. Got a hand mic for it too. It's actually not a bad looking hand mic. You know, a lot of these times you get these hand mics and they're these little bitty flimsy feeling things. It's got a solid PTT, but oh wow, look. It's got audible click. I mean, it's a nice feeling hand mic. I'm anxious to see how that sounds. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's get this thing plugged up. Okay, so we're gonna got the collection going over here. Let's plug this thing up here and get her charging, and let's see what she can do. All right, so we're about to get cracking on this thing. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. I would appreciate it. It helps the channel out. Hit that little bell there and you'll see every time I upload new content. Okay, so here it is. We got it programmed up. Got the hotspot programmed in there. I also have the local Oxford repeaters in there. I can't quite hit them from here. Like I said, this is an analog and DMR radio. It's a UHF only radio. It's not 2 meters, so it's only 70 centimeters. But it has some features that I kind of like. It feels pretty good in the hand and stuff. So let's take an in-depth look at it. So I've got the stock, little rubber ducky antenna on there. It did come with, it wasn't an actual Nagoya. It was a Nagoya 771 knockoff. So the belt clip. Let's start here. The belt clip just attaches like your normal belt clip. Couple screws on the back. It's got a good spring to it. It's not one that's gonna, flop off of your belt. The radio's got enough weight that it's there, but not so much that it drags your pants down. So, no one wants to walk around with the pants on the ground. So it feels pretty good. It's a small radio. It is not nearly as big as some of the other DMR radios. Now, I realize that a lot of folks watching some of these reviews for sub $100 radios, a lot of times we compare them to, other radios. Well, you may not have another radio to know what that size is. So me being the coffee addict that I am, I came up with a K580 standard unit of measurement. That standard unit of measurement is your typical 30 ounce Yeti style cup. This one happens to be my Arctic. Go Doors. Okay, so when you compare this to the size, let me go ahead and scroll it down a little bit, to the size of an actual 30 ounce cup, 30 ounce tumbler, we'll call it the tumbler test. So in the tumbler test, you can see that the height of the radio without the antenna is about half a tumbler. Okay, so, you can kind of get a feel for how big that's going to be. Now, when we get inside of it, let me set this back down for us. Okay, you want to know how big it is. And well, once again, I could pick up another radio and show you, and then you'd still be clueless because you might not have that radio. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in. All right. Now you can see just how big. Well, I might need to actually turn the flash on for that. Hang tight. There you go. Now you can see just how big that radio is down in there. Now, for those of you saying, oh, look, that looks like moisture down there. That's because I just rinsed my coffee out of it. So it's okay. If it can't handle a couple drops of water, it's not worth having. So, but that's how big it is. So your size of the radio is less than half a tumbler. Okay, so some of the features of this radio. You've got the keypad on the front. Antenna PTT button. That's a programmable button right here. Here you've got your speaker mic connections here. Now, these are protected with a little plastic flap. One thing I'll go ahead and tell you, having opened and closed this thing several times already, this is not the most secure little flap in the world. It's quite often it's just kind of hanging like that. Let's see if I can get the focus for you. Okay, so, take that for what it's worth. If you push it in there really well, it'll click. But I've found that a lot of times it doesn't take much to pop that off of there. So, all right, so got that open. And as I mentioned in the unboxing, this speaker mic, it's hefty. I mean, it's a good size speaker mic. It's got, nice clicks. It's got a metal backing. Okay, so playing around with the speaker mic around town and whatnot, it sounds pretty good. Every now and then it seems like when I pull against the cord to hit the PTT, I guess maybe it's a little loose right here. I'm not sure, but sometimes every now and then it stops my call. So I'm not sure what the deal is there. All right, a couple things I really like about this radio. Thing number one, and I'm going to need a different DMR radio to show you this. Okay, so let me even turn this. This is my Anytone 878. This is the way. All right, so I've got that. Let me angle this down a little bit. Okay, one thing I like is that you can make private calls straight from the front here. Now, granted, to dial it in like that, you really just need to know their number. I just happen to know mine, 315-0900. And I can just key up and make a private call. And I'll bring this one up here to the camera, and you can see. K5ATA testing. Wrong zone. That usually helps. K5ATA testing. Now I apologize about the feedback because I'm calling myself, which is kind of awkward. But you can see it keyed up, and that was a private call. And that private call came just from dialing the number in the front. That's pretty cool. Okay, you can do the same thing with text messages. You hit that little button with the green there. Okay, so you can scroll down the message, hit the button, hit the new message, type whatever message you want. In this case, I'm saying, oh. Those of you who are too young to remember, back in the day, you used to have to text that way. Okay, and I hit OK, then I hit send, and I can either set it to a contact that I already have in there, or I can dial it. In this case, I'm going to dial it because I know my own number. 315-0900. Hit OK. Boom, and I got it. So it's easy to send private calls. Oh, okay, yeah, I got it already. Thank you. So some of the other stuff about this radio I like. Like I said, it is a DMR analog UHF radio. It's only UHF. It is not 2 meters, which means as far as for like an everyday carry kind of radio, unless you live somewhere that has just a bunch of DMR repeaters on UHF, okay, this may not be the perfect radio for you. If you're a hotspot DMR user, this may be perfect. You know, I can see myself carrying this around on my LAN. It's lightweight. I can get to my hotspot from anywhere on my LAN. This puts out 1 watt and 4 watts. So if I'm on high, I can get it on 1 watt. But if I'm on high, I know I can get it from anywhere on my LAN. So if I'm out hunting or hiking or something like that, I can hit my hotspot from there. But if you live in an area where you don't have a bunch of UHF repeaters, okay, this is going to limit you a little bit. It has 999 channels. So I don't know about you, but I'm not going through 999 channels. So you're probably good there. Obviously, most radios nowadays have Vox. This has Vox. It has scan. It is programmable by PC. However, I will go ahead and say the software is not easily obtainable. Now, it may be changed by the time you see this, but the software was not on the website. When you went to the website and you clicked it to download it, it wasn't there. It downloaded some, I forget what the extension on the file was, but it was a file that didn't do anything. So I will put a link to the software in my description down below. So if you need it, look down. Okay. The audio on this radio is superb. Compared to a lot of the other radios I have, this just sounds really crisp. It sounds really good. It's plenty loud without getting any scratchy or crackly sounds to it. The audio is really good. They claim this thing has an 18-hour battery life. Now, I'm one that I like to test and see how long it lasts. I can tell you, I put this radio, I turned it on when I woke up, about 5:04 in the morning. I left it on all day, having used it, testing it, and it was still alive with 1 bar the next morning. That's 24 hours. Okay, so it lasts a day. Now, it may not always last a day as the battery gets older, but out of the box, this bad boy lasts a whole day with, moderate use. Okay, something else that I like about it is there aren't a lot of dials to it. It's, you're not going to accidentally bump stuff. Now, that's got its good and its bad. It's good in that really all you have a dial for is the volume. It's bad in that, as a result, everything is buried down inside of this radio. To change frequencies or to change channels, you have these little buttons, which that's not a big deal. But your zones, okay? Your zones, it's not easy to change your zones. Okay, so areas that can be improved with this radio. It does have a couple. Nothing's perfect. Okay, one of the things that can definitely be improved is if you look at the bottom, it's got 4 little feet. Okay, we'll call those feet for lack of a better word. But it's got these 4 little thingamabobs it stands on. And when you put the radio down, it seems like it stands okay. But it really takes nothing to knock that sucker over. I mean, a good shake, it comes over. And that's with this short antenna. You put the long antenna on there, this dude's falling over all day long. In fact, it sat on my desk at work, and I just had it sitting there just receiving most of the day. And this thing fell over every time I typed something, every time I bumped my desk, every time I picked up my coffee, which that's a lot. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you're going to use this for a radio that you're really just going to stick on a desk while you work, maybe not. Something that goes on your belt that you're going to carry around, definitely. Okay, being a UHF radio, this goes from 400 to 470. Okay, it does have FM radio built in where you can monitor FM radio. In fact, you can set it up so that you're monitoring FM radio or listening to your music while you're monitoring the local repeater or whatever. Personally, that would drive me nuts, but hey, whatever floats your boat. I'm going to go ahead and point out I barely touched that and it's open again. So like I said, that flap. Okay. This radio comes in at something like, I don't know, $85 or something like that. So for an $85 radio, it's not a bad little rig. It does have some quirks to it. It's, like I said, it's not perfect. But $85, this is a decent entry into the DMR radio. if you have the ability to hit DMR repeaters or you have a hotspot. If you don't, then, you know, it may be time to shop around a little bit. A lot of times people settle for a radio because, you know, well, it's only $85. Well, then they get a radio and then they're not happy with it because it doesn't do what they need it to do. What good is having this cool little radio if you can't hit any repeaters with it? Okay, so think about that. Now, if you live in Southern California, Dallas, any big city that's got multiple DMR UHF repeaters, hey, this is a good choice. I mean, you can carry that sucker around and it's hardly noticeable. It definitely doesn't weigh much on your belt compared to some. It's got enough, weight to feel sturdy, but not so much that it drags your pants. So this may be the choice for you. Okay, and that's that. So the TID DP580 may just be the radio for you if you have plenty of UHF repeaters and hotspots around. So, appreciate y'all watching. Any questions or anything, comment below. Hit like, hit subscribe, like I said. It does help the channel out. And hit that bell to see when I release more content. Y'all take care, and see you on the air.